Here is a psychological fact you are not prepared for. If you are hard to manipulate, you probably don't even know it. Psychologists call this cognitive resistance, and it is the ability to keep your mind from bending just because someone wants you to be different. Once you understand these signs, you will see why you act the way you do in your relationships, at work, and even with your family. Sign number 1. You don't swallow anything blindly. You never accept information without questioning it. You don't do it out of rebellion. You don't do it to be contrary. You do it because your brain needs logic and coherence before agreeing. Your mind thinks, if something doesn't add up, I don't accept it. And this throws manipulative people off because they need you to accept their arguments unfiltered. If you analyze, doubt, ask questions, and review, they lose power. But here is where it gets even more interesting. Being hard to manipulate doesn't just mean you are mentally strong. It also means that some people can perceive you as intimidating without you even trying. Sign number 2. You are not afraid to say no. Most people say yes out of fear of being disliked, to avoid conflict, or out of guilt, but not you. You say no when something doesn't seem fair, when it's not in your best interest, or when it simply gives you bad vibes. Here is the psychological aspect. Your brain has learned that your peace of mind is worth more than pleasing others. This destroys any attempt at manipulation based on social pressure. Sign number 3. You detect inconsistencies in seconds. Someone says one thing, but does another. They promise you something, but don't deliver. They speak to you affectionately, but their actions wear you down. Most people don't notice these contradictions until it's too late. You do. Your mind registers patterns, compares behaviors, and detects changes in tone, intensity, or intention. You don't need to confront the person to know something is wrong. You simply sense it. That intuition is an extremely accurate anti-manipulation alarm. Here comes the painful part. Most people don't want you to think for yourself. They want you to be predictable. They want you to be agreeable. They want you to say yes even if you don't want to. That is why, when you don't fall for their manipulations, some people might call you difficult, hard, or cold. But what is really happening is that they can't control you. Sign number 4. You are not emotionally dependent on anyone. Manipulation works best with people who suffer from a need to please, with people who crave approval, with people who are afraid of being alone, not you. You don't fall apart if someone walks away. You don't sacrifice your values to be liked. You don't sell yourself short with empty praise. And here is something important. Your emotional independence doesn't mean you don't love people. It means you don't need anyone to feel complete. And manipulative people hate that. But here comes the part no one wants to admit. Sign number 5. Your silence makes manipulators uncomfortable. There are people who try to provoke you into reacting. They want you to lose control. They want you to justify yourself. They want you to explain your emotions so they can control them, but you won't. When something bothers you, you stay silent. You observe. You analyze. You wait. And for many, that silence is unbearable because manipulation requires an emotional reaction. If you don't react, they have no power. All of this stems from a key psychological reason. Your brain prioritizes autonomy over approval. Your mind doesn't let itself be controlled because it has learned through experience, pain, or maturity that emotional stability comes from within, not from without. That is why you don't swallow excuses. You don't give endless second chances. You don't allow anyone to play with your emotions. You don't give away your time or energy without thinking. If this hurt, perfect. It means you have just discovered something important about yourself or someone around you. Here is the truth you have been avoiding. Being difficult to manipulate isn't luck. It is an acquired skill, and if you don't have it yet, you can develop it. If you want to break the cycle of allowing others to overly influence your behavior, start with this. Set clear boundaries, even if they are uncomfortable. Don't over-explain. Your words can backfire. Listen more than you speak. Manipulation thrives on emotional noise. Pause before you respond. Time is your best shield. Trust your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. And remember, true mental strength isn't about intimidating others, but about not letting anyone control your mind. If this video helped you understand yourself a little better, give it a like so it reaches someone who might need it more than you. And if you would like an episode on how to spot manipulators in seconds, just ask in the comments.